things need to be said. So when I say, I only say this one time, just once. Just listen. Check this. My castle started shrinking, something's gotta give. Ended up being the smallest place that I had ever lived. One of the reasons I would do away with fame, to say the least. Don't know who these people are, and their names ain't on the leaves. It's a different type of monster, entertainment is a beast. We're supposed to eat together, then I became the main feast. If you're preying on my kindness, taking advantage of Joe's cool, I'd have to ask, what's your definition of soul food? I bust my ass for my whole life and I worked hard for my profit. And envy I know cuts like a knife, so you probably work hard to stop it. If you know me like you're playing, then how could you disregard my logic? You know I'll cut my arms short and put my heart in my pocket. A pretty good judge of character. Maybe I mistaked a few, cut some people off, but had no choice, it's what they made me do. Why would you take advantage when it's something I'd have gave to you? And in the long run, it doesn't take from me, it takes from you. You probably tell me I'm a fucked up nigga. You got it wrong, I just won't be fucked up with you, which forces me to get distant. And I never want to act away with you, but passion and desire never blends with lackadaisical. No longer enable you, that's no longer favorable. But pride is on your sleeve, so you'll just act like nothing phases you, which can never equal good in fact. So love can't be lost, I know exactly where I put it at.
We're gonna get to it, man.
Word.
Just allow me a second.
No problem with nobody though. Just had no problem with me. Figure. It's no beef, no malice. I got no vendetta with y'all. So I only want better for myself. Might even want better for y'all. My castle started shrinking, I tried my best to fight it. Don't know how it happened, don't know how they got invited. Was good with cabin fever, and maybe that helped create the space. Fuck your good intentions, more concerned with what's taking place. But everyone feels entitled, made up their mind, they got it right too. My peers transforming right before my eyes into my rivals. Look, I had a cars, I had a clothes, take all that shit that I don't love. I'm learning fast, the recognition is its own drug. And what's worse than some of your actions being feminine is I got no way of knowing if your moves are really genuine. You there when it's bright, better be there when it's dark.
You wasn't there for the ride, don't be there when I park.
Figure I love niggas enough to let the world come and stay with me. And I'll stay trapped in this room to keep y'all away from me. What's supposed to happen when I'm not hot anymore? Would y'all rely on me being crazy, but what if I'm not anymore? The funny shit, the mollies were cool when we all were doing them, but nobody recalled when I was the only one even ruining them. I learned a long time ago in life that not much is fair. So no love lost, but not much is
Usually I let the whole
Deja
song
vu, this happened rapidly before. Every day's a constant struggle, and you're a casualty of war, which could only equal good in fact.
So love can't be lost, I know exactly where I put it at. Ah, man. Greetings and what up, though? You're now tuned in to Uncle Vick Rants. And I'm coming here to rant with y'all for a little bit, man. I had to let this whole vibe rock out because I'm in a little bit of a mood. Yeah. So when I'm in a bit of a mood, I call on the mood god, Joe Button. Hopefully they don't flag that on YouTube, but that was something I just couldn't even let ride out. But before I start the show, I would like to say Happy Pride Month. Woo, woo, woo. Go. What up to all my LGBTQIA pluses? I be forgetting the plus. I'm adding so many damn numbers and adjectives, man. Letters and all that good stuff, man. It's hard to keep up. So I had to pander to y'all for a minute. I would do like a gay salute, but I don't know if y'all got one. You know, if y'all got your own secret, like what up, though? Or assalamu alaikum or something. Include us, man. Y'all want to be, come on, include us. Let us know the gay salute so I can salute you when I see you for Pride Month. Gay salam alaikum. Whatever y'all, come on, man. Now that my pandering is done, I actually had an episode that I planned because I wasn't going to let Pride Month leave without me hollering at my LGBTQ folks. But I don't know if that's in the cards for right now. Let me just handle this a day at a time and get through this one. But I just watched the first episode of Rants, man. So wide-eyed. So nervous. I'd be lying if I said the nervousness wasn't always there. I think I've restarted this one 3 times, just trying to open up the episode, because it's a lot, man, doing this. I think people just think I bought a good setup, and I get in front of a camera and I just start talking. That ain't really how that go. I got kids outside this room, a woman. I think it's dinner time right now. I miss things. I guess this is the part of being a creative, because I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. It's just, but my point in saying that is there's a process to this. There are a lot of things that have to be factored in when I decided to do this. Now, the decision to do this was well over 4 or 5 years ago, but I wasn't in a remote enough space. Remote ain't the word to use. I just be finding words. See, I get so nervous when talking. And my thoughts are so sporadic that when I'm speaking, there's so many things going on up here. I'll just pull a word out and I'll be feeling like Stephen A. Smith or Jesse Jackson. Like, man, that word didn't go there. That's not, but I'm all over the place, man. And that's something that I struggle with trying to deliver this show. Bear with me a little bit on this one, because I'm trying to figure out how to say everything that I want to say kind of on the spot right now. This show was years in the making, but I wasn't in a good enough place mentally, definitely financially, and in life. I didn't even have a stable home. When I started thinking of this idea, I was bouncing back and forth between being a homeless sexual with the crazy woman that got me locked up and my mother's basement. Real life. In my mid-30s at that time, because I'm in my late 30s now. When I got here to Ohio, because once I came home from being locked up for that little bit, I knew that I had to change you have to change the angle if you want the view to be different. You see what I'm saying? So I knew that where my life was going, I had to change that angle. So when I came home from jail, I was going through withdrawals from my alcohol addiction, just living kind of wild, reckless. So I came down here with nothing. Excuse me. I came to Ohio from Michigan with nothing. Wouldn't be the first time. I've lived here before. I've lived in Texas before. I've lived in a few places, man. So I'm the kind of person that'll just pick up and leave everything behind and go. And I don't know if I can attribute that to my creative brain, because creatives do shit like that, I guess, artsy people. But that's how I was living for a long time, just restarting and restarting and restarting. That's how you get 37, or how old I was at the time, like 34, and you struggling between your mama house and some chick you don't even like, for real. That's how that started. But I came here, and I started my first podcast with my homegirl Robin. Salute to you, Awkward Minaj Gang. When I started that podcast with Robin, I was homeless. Not the living with my mama in her basement homeless. The true definition of homeless, bro. I ain't have nowhere to go. And I had a baby on the way. Me and my daughter's mother she was serving while she was pregnant. So, and I just got out of jail. So, while she was walking around carrying our baby, trying to make little bitty ends meet just to keep a roof over our heads. How she got in that predicament ain't nobody's business, but life happens. And life hit her hard to where she lost her house before that. So I'm there with her, fresh out of jail. She just lost her house and she just got pregnant. And I'm starting a podcast. This is how my brain works. This is how the wiring of my brain works. Don't know how, don't know why, but I had this vision and I was clear enough to say, let's do it. So me and Robin started Awkward Minaj. And I rolled with them for a year. We was in different places. All of us from Detroit. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my dude Ed, Mercenary, the Don. Me, Ed, Robin started all from Detroit. She moved to Texas. He was in Detroit and I was in Ohio. And we literally got on a blog site and started a mobile podcast from 3 different places. And that kept so much sanity. It kept me at bay. It kept me very sane while I was maneuvering, trying to find a job, trying to find a second job, trying to put myself in position to get my baby mama and my kid out of that hotel. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even talking, we still had a kid with us. We had a whole, I don't even know how old Skylar was. Skylar was, time flying. She might have been like 9 then. Had a whole kid in a double room hotel with us and a baby on the way. So I got a woman, a kid, one on the way, trying to figure my life out through this. And I did it. With not nobody's help, nobody's co-sign. I didn't even want to let my mother know that I was living like that. Because had she known that, she'd have been trying to intervene and help out and do all the things that a good mother does. That's what would have been happening. And I didn't want it like that. My mom is the kind of person that will give the last shirt off her back to help somebody else if she ain't got it. And my mama got it. She got it in abundance. She got it in excess. But because I was raised to not, and maybe that's a pride thing, but I was raised in an era where you don't ask nobody for shit. You get out there and you get it. I remember I got in trouble one time. I'm trying to be careful with these stories because I don't want to depict nobody wrong way. But I remember as a kid, when grandma had this neighbor named Doug, we was little. Doug had a bag of chips, some Ruffles or something. This is 80 something. And he was on one side of the fence. I was on one side of the fence. Doug had some chips. I asked that nigga Doug for some chips. Mama was like, yo, don't you ask nobody for shit. You got chips in the house. And I'm sure we did. But in the moment, I'm 6 or 7. But what she was trying to teach me was get out there and get it. And don't ask nobody outside of your circle for nothing. And looks away. Perception. Perception is a very important thing in today's life. In today's society, I guess. Not to me, but it is a very important thing. And that's kind of what I'm here to talk about. Perception and perspective. Because those seem to be the most important things in today's reality. I'm not going to talk about conversation and sarcasm and nuance, and all of those things are dead. They're dead. They don't exist anymore in this society. You can't say nothing without being offensive. You can't have a difference of opinion. You can't do any of that shit. That's why certain episodes are catered toward those things. I started off talking about hip-hop culture, and if I can help somebody with my story or my perspective, that'll go further to me than monetary gain can ever go. For me, when I was young, as a kid, ask yourselves, just do me this favor while we sitting here talking. Ask yourselves, who were you as a kid? What did they call you? I'm sure they didn't just address you by your gun. Maybe they did. But from where I'm from, everybody got a nickname. Who are you? Black people, we tend to have nicknames that are like based in, well, I feel like black people specifically, we hide insults in our kids, or from that time. I was born in 82, just to be more What's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word right now. To be more descriptive. I was born in 82. So what I feel like is black people, they baked disrespect into the childhood nicknames. Like if you was fat, your nickname was probably Biscuit or Cookie or Ham Hock, or I don't know. If you had a big lip, you might, like me, you might have been Bubba Lips. And that wasn't my name, but I'm just saying, I'm not telling you my name either. But whatever your nickname was, who were you? Who were you then? I'll tell you who I was. I was aloof. I was a loner, kind of like now. Kind of why I don't have any co-hosts, even though I really need them, because it's hard to do this and not have people to bounce ideas off. That's why I'll be asking y'all to keep it real with me, man. Comment and tell me what I'm doing right or wrong or whatever, because I don't have co-hosts to bounce ideas off of. Where is I? Who am I, man? Who was I? I was a kid who just wanted to be cool. I wanted to be liked. I think anybody wants that. And my version of cool back then was, you know the vibes. Zach Morris, AC Slater. I don't know. It was some cool black people on TV back then. Who were they? The Facts of Life crew. Tootie was my first crush ever. We're cool black people. It was the Cosbys, but I'm not going. I can't lie. I wasn't into the Cosbys as a kid. Bill Cosby was always a little creepy to me, so I'm just being honest. The Jello commercial, I don't eat Jello, none of that. You know who was cool to me? Because he was off the Cosby tree. Dwayne Wayne was cool. As a matter of fact, let me just clean. I wanted to be Dwayne Wayne. He was smart. That's why I call myself on my Instagram Street Dwayne Wayne, because I feel like with my street, hold on, man. I'll be right back. Go in this closet real quick. I'm gonna finish. This don't even match what I got on, per se. This don't even match what I got on, but fuck it. I'm gonna finish out the rest of the episode like this. Dwayne Wayne was who I wanted to be. That's why I called myself Dwayne Wayne of the streets. I had a upbringing that was in a street environment. Dwayne Wayne was smart. He was black. He was in college. I wanted to be Dwayne Wayne, man. I thought Dwayne Wayne was dope. But as a kid, my mom always, because when you want to be cool, you try to be accepted by your peers. And if all my peers was just my homies doing stuff that my mama wasn't accepting, yo, you not going to do that. So whenever I got in trouble, it was, quit trying to be cool. I'm always trying to pass the cool test. You be yourself. Stop caring so much about what people think about you. I think I told that a lot. Now, we're here. And I'm a 38-year-old man who don't particularly care what nobody think about me. And now that I'm living that way, people are telling me I should care. This is honestly probably my toughest episode to do. I'm just being 100% with you. Everybody telling me I should care what people think, man. It's perception. Perception over perspective, I guess. When for me, my mind goes perspective over perception. I don't give a fuck what you think of me. I know what your perspective of me is when I know your viewpoint is from an angle that you can't identify what's truth from what's reality from what's not. And I had a legit screaming match with my brother yesterday. We was literally on the phone. It was almost like we was 10 and 5 again, because he telling me social media is real, and I'm telling him it's not. We literally was going back and forth like kids. It's real. It ain't. It's real. It ain't. It's real. Real life. We was literally having that conversation. Because I get on social media and first and foremost, social media was created, or at the time it was created, I was of age of the demographic that they were creating it for. It was aimed at college kids. Now, at the time, I wasn't a college kid, but I was of college kid age. So, I'm used to being on Facebook specifically with my friends and cracking jokes. And y'all remember what old Facebook was like? It was kind of like old Twitter back in the day, or, well, Twitter's kind of still Twitter. I ain't gonna lie. But you can go, it's women on there busting it wide open on Twitter. You ain't even got to pay for the OnlyFans. Go to Twitter. But social media was created for us, and then there's this boom, and Facebook became big, and before you knew it, everybody was there. When I was watching this commercial the other day, I think I actually talked about it on social media, on that social media episode, but where you see people talking about how Google was 25 years old or something of that nature, right? So how everything is supposed to evolve with time, basically, is what they're saying. And first I was like, that's stupid, dog. Shut up, it's social media. But then I thought about it, right? When I was on the episode speaking about the Bible, I said, and I quote, everything has evolved except the Bible. So I can't particularly get mad at social media evolving because everybody is there now. Your grandparents are there on Facebook, your parents, your aunts and uncles and cousins, and now the little kids that were born. Excuse me, man. Dropping mics, and it ain't time to drop the mic yet, man. I ain't editing none of this shit or nothing, man. I'm just, whatever. I'm just here to vent today. So, if you're gonna sit here with me, man, I really do appreciate it, because I am gonna get to a point. But people, it ain't the same no more. My sense of humor is dark. I like, Frasier was my shit. Friends, I like dark humor. And I poke fun at a lot of things that people may not find funny. So I have to deal with the backlash of it because of social media, and perception is everything today. How you look to people is the most important thing about life today. And in case y'all didn't know, that's sarcasm. I know we don't know what sarcasm is anymore, but I don't think it's very real. Like I told my little brother a story yesterday about a cousin of ours who nigga asked me for $20 one minute, and a couple hours later he was on social media flexing with somebody else's money, more than likely. Or like my cousin said, or like my brother said, he could have been trying to finesse me and had money the whole time and just wanted to get a little bit more. Who knows? I don't know, and I don't care. All I know is I'm watching people not be themselves. And one thing Uncle Vick hasn't done is get on this motherfucking platform and tell no lies about nothing. Because I cannot do that. If I do that, I have people in my bloodline that will check me and say, dude, you lying. What is wrong with you? Why are you're lying in front of the world? Now, for some reason, it don't apply to everybody, because they ain't never tell that nigga he was lying. But they probably didn't see it back then, because that was a time where everybody was not on it. I don't know the point of that part of what I was saying, but I just don't understand how and why someone's perception, why we have to present this thing to be acceptable by society's standards. Now that's who I was as a kid. I had a bunch of cousins, a bunch of people. I would rather sit off in a corner by myself and draw. I didn't realize that I was sketching, creating my own world in my head because I saw the world differently than everybody else. And I'm just recently coming to terms with, yo, I'm an alien, man. Yeah, I'm human. I feel the same things that everybody else feel. But I don't human the way everybody else humans, which is why I'm okay alone. I don't need the attachment to be vibrant. I don't need people to reassure me about who the fuck I am. Now, if I sound a little passionate about what I'm saying, it's because lately I've been having these discussions with family members, and I come on this show all the time and I talk, and if y'all notice, y'all see me stammer over my words. It's already hard enough trying to deliver the things that I'm trying to say behind my natural born speech impediment, because I have a stutter. If you haven't noticed it, I'm not just doing that because like the pastor do it when he in church going, now God, I'm not, no, I really stutter. And I don't really remember it my entire life, but I remember being teased about it. I don't remember having it my entire life. I vividly remember I had an older cousin, my cousin Smoke, right? He has it real bad. Mine was bad, but my mom, being a good mother, got me speech therapy in third grade. Now, my cousin's was so bad that I remember one time in specific, we was in his room. We was in my room on my old house, and he had, this is the old book sale days. When you get a book, when you sell the books and you get a prize, you want to watch. My older cousin Gooch asked him, "Hey, where you get that watch from, man?" And, you know, he tried to answer the question, and he said, and that continued for quite some time until he said, "School." Now, I laughed so hard. I think I laughed for the next 3 grades. For the next 3 years, I laughed. But I noticed that my stutter started to peak after I laughed at him for that. I don't remember having it before that. But it's hard enough trying to deliver my messages every week, just getting through that. I'm like Barry Sanders, and my stutter is the lion's O-line. I'm trying to joust and move and get through that speech impediment as best as possible and deliver some entertaining content. That's stressful enough. Then I have to, with all the things going on in society, right? Cancel culture, politically correct culture, everybody being sensitive as fuck culture. It's hard trying to deliver something around that when you can't even say all the words you would love to say because you got a speech impediment blocking you. That's hard enough, man. And I don't really worry about cancel culture and all of that because I don't give a fuck what nobody think about me. I was raised that way. I was told, quit trying to pass the cool test. You quit trying to move the way you see little whoever in them moving, and you be yourself. Okay, well, this is who I am. I'm a creative. I'm a loner. I like to sit to myself. I see the wonder in everything. I have a certain gullibleness to how I see the world because I look at the world like that shouldn't happen. This should happen. This should happen. Right from wrong, right? Then I have this naivete of that's the same thing, basically. And I was awakened with the stark reality of what you think is happening. Yo, Santa Claus ain't real, bro. Santa Claus ain't real. All that, the world, you think the world's supposed to be a good place, it isn't. I tell my kids this shit all the time. That's cool. Y'all talented. Y'all dope. Y'all got a lot of things figured out, but they're naive, naturally, as kids are. And that was heartbreaking to me to find out the world wasn't what I thought it was as a child. So what I did as a kid, I zipped it. I shut the fuck up. I shut down to the point where even the people in my household thought something was wrong with me. Are you slow? Do you learn differently? What's wrong with you? Why don't you ever talk to anybody? That eventually became, yo, be different. He different. That's the, my name. Well, that ain't my childhood nickname, but let's just say, for example, my name was B. B was who I was as a kid. Yo, B is different. He crazy. He slow. He think differently. He weird. These were things that were made to ridicule me. I would bring my co-host in here, but my co-host look like she don't care about herself today, or like her parents don't love her, because she been running around in grass all day. And she just woke up, apparently. But, so we see perception. I don't want to bring my daughter on cam right now, because everybody was, she's so cute last week when she was on camera. But because she rough around the edges right now, people will probably say, look at him with his dirty ass daughter on camera. Yeah, like, this shit is depressing, man. It's depressing that we care so much. That's what I did keeping up with the Jetsons for. Because we so busy with keeping up with the Joneses, and we just care so much about what everybody think about us, and I don't understand that. Because I was taught not to. And I don't want to, like I said, I don't worry about cancel culture when I do this. I don't really worry too much about anybody, but I do worry about how my immediate family takes it. And it's crazy that I'm sitting here having to maneuver through my words and can't deliver my full vision of what I see from Uncle Vick Rants, because I'm having to worry about getting into it with a family member because they might not agree with something that I said or how I view something that happened in my life when I'm not lying about it. If I'm not lying, or if I see something differently, because that's all it is a difference of perspective. We have a different angle from how we view something. If I'm not lying, if something, I don't know, I can't speak to that, right? Because everybody think differently. I can't speak to that. Somebody might hear this and think I'm lying. And people that were there, because everybody's perspective of what they saw was different. So I don't really know how or what I'm saying, man. I can't do this comfortably. I was told I cuss too much by the same people that introduced me to cussing. I'm sorry, y'all, if I apologize if I seem like I'm a little frantic while I'm doing this, but my thoughts combined with my emotions are all over the place as I'm trying to deliver this. The very same people that introduced cussing to me are the people that tell me I cuss too much. Because perception is so important. My mom told me once, I'd be wanting to share your podcast, but you cuss too much. And I thought about that would be dope. But I'm like, I don't want your old ass friends to watch my show, no way. Or I don't want your young friends to watch this and judge her based on who I am as a person. I'm an alien. I don't think like nobody. And for the longest, I've been trying to blend in with society, right? Because he crazy, he weird, he different. So you don't want that stigma. You damn sure don't want it by the people in your home. So I've tried over the years and I've learned to blend in with them and be acceptable. Oh, B doing good. B got he got an all right life right now. He doing good. He don't need nobody for nothing. He's, I come around, I talk a little bit more. You don't understand that when I say I was like this, I didn't talk at all. I had aunts and shit who still not used to hearing me speak. So when I come on this show and I'm speaking and I'm trying to curate an audience, and it seems like I'm natural, this is very unnatural for me. I'm not used to talking. Damn sure not used to talking publicly. So maybe when I'm saying some of the stuff I say, I word it wrong. I'm learning. This is a learning process as I'm going through it. I'm learning how to tell this story as I'm doing it. So I could word something wrong that would offend somebody, but I don't mean that. My intentions don't seem to be in account for anything. We don't have any account. We don't put anybody's intention into account. we always want to tell people what their intention are. No, you meant that. What you meant was, and how in the fuck can you tell somebody else what they meant? I'm rambling. I hope I'm making sense to people. Because, like I said, when you're ridiculed, I don't want to say vilified, when you're ridiculed for being different, it makes you clam up. And when you speak to certain things, given my personal history, I don't know how much I can and can't say because I don't want to offend nobody. But given my personal history, I guess can see how I would offend people in my personal life, because we have a history where I may have said some things that were discrediting to people I loved who did nothing but give me the best and try to show me the best upbringing as a child. Like I said, I just did a whole episode where I talked about being a spoiled kid, right? And there are things I want to come talk about in the future because I feel like my experiences can help somebody that may be in the same predicament or in similar predicaments, because it's people going through some of the things I went through that weren't spoiled. Or that didn't have the best of everything growing up. So if I could tell bits and pieces of my story, it could help somebody, why wouldn't I do that? And my story's dope as fuck. Who comes from the east side of Detroit with a big family and a dope life from seeing all the things that I've seen, go up to Ohio, work for Cedar fucking Point, an amusement park, and create a life. Meet the mother of my child there, who was my boss at the time. Go off and live in Texas, and my uncle got a fucking mansion, and I'm living like the Fresh Prince of Houston in Texas. Like, that's a lot. But also while that was happening, I was going through an alcohol addiction. I was getting in trouble with the law. It was a lot of things happening. And adversity is what creates these stories and makes them so dope. So I'm just supposed to get up here and talk about all the good things in my life and never talk about any adversity? That's unrealistic. And I would be lying. I would be inauthentic to the person that I am if I got up here and just said I had every shoe growing up, every video game growing up, and I ain't never been through no adversity. Who want to hear that? My frustration is coming from places I can't all the way divulge. We gonna get through this, man. Because I wasn't trying to be here too long for this, really. But it's all just coming up, man. And I'm never gonna be able to fully deliver the content I want to deliver if I gotta worry about which family member I'm gonna have to fight with because they heard something they didn't like. I was at a party, right, where I saw a young lady talking to her son like he wasn't shit. Just to be honest. And I don't know what he did wrong, but I'm talking about she was going off, and I wanted to do an episode about it. But then I'm like, damn, I can't really talk about it because if I talk about that, I could upset my mother and project that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm watching the lady talk to her son going, yeah, nigga, man up, nigga, stop crying like a little girl. You ain't no bitch, nigga. Bitch ass nigga. Hit him in the chest. Hit herself in the chest. Like, talking to this boy couldn't have been no older than 6. Couldn't have been older than 6. And I'm just sitting there looking at him scream with everything in his body going, I wonder what kind of man he gonna be. I wonder how he gonna deal with women when he get older. And because unfortunately, I can relate to some of that because I was raised by a single mother who did her damnedest to make sure that she raised her 2 boys to be men in the environment that we grew up in. And I don't want to say anything to discredit that because my mother did an exceptional job with us. And I see so many single mothers out here who couldn't hold a candle to my mama. As a parent, I couldn't hold a candle to my mother. So I don't want to say anything that will make her feel like embarrassed or like I'm discrediting her as a parent, because to be able to give the life that she gave me and my brother and my sister with minimal help and what none of our fathers there to do that shit, I don't want to seem disrespectful to that process because I don't even understand what she had to go through. I'm sitting here as a parent now like, whoa, I couldn't do it. And damn sure couldn't make it look as easy as she made it look. But I was raised in that be seen and not heard era as well. And our kids, I know our kids have no idea what the be seen and not heard era even is. Because, let me get some light here. Because, we just ain't like we don't have the tough love aesthetic that our parents had with teachers. So these motherfuckers just be talking and talking and talking, and that might be a bad thing. That might be us slipping on our pimping. I don't know. I do know what certain things made me feel like as a kid, especially being a creative and being different from everyone and trying to understand where I fit in as a kid. And I can remember times of trying to experiment. Even with this, like I said, this show was 5 years in the making, but I talked about my short-lived aspiring rap career that didn't go anywhere because I had a child first and foremost, and I put my child in front of that. Or I tried to. I did my best job trying to at that moment. And I fell short of that. That's how I got so many baby mamas. Falling short, trying to do the right thing, and didn't work. And I didn't have the tools to be able to take care of a woman the way I should have been taking care of a woman in that time. But I can remember being different in that. I can remember wanting to play basketball and being told by an adult by being told by an adult, you too dumb to play basketball, because I did something. Because education was important in my family. They made sure you was going to do one thing. If you wasn't going to do anything else in my family, you was going to go get your education. You was going to graduate, and you was going to, everybody, they raised a bunch of graduates, and some even went to college and graduated. A nice chunk of my family. So I come from a really good upbringing. But at the same time, you know, there's a nuanced duality to my upbringing, and that's the adversity to some degree before I got to having to deal with adversity in life. But yeah, as a kid, I was told, you too dumb to play basketball. Because like, whatever I did in school that day or that week, I got in trouble. And whenever I got in trouble in school, something I loved was demonized. Something that I loved doing was demonized. You're too dumb to play basketball. Or when I started writing and an adult in my family found one of my notebooks and, oh, you never knew if I was good at it or not. You gonna be 25, 30 years old, still waiting on a record deal. You ain't gonna, like, you know what that do to a kid's confidence, man? Like, I play with my kids. Y'all see me on social media with these ugly ass kids. And if one of my kids came to me and said, yo, Dad, I don't, because I clarified that I'm joking with my kids. But if one of my kids came to me and said, Dad, I don't like that. That's not funny to me. Done. Cut out. Like that. Because I don't want to shut my kids' confidence down before they can even blossom. Now, I had a whole episode planned about that, but I don't want to do it if I'm going to upset somebody in my family if they think I'm taking shots at them. Like, I don't know how to feel, man. All I do know is if I got to fight with people that I love to be able to present my product, it ain't worth it. And I speak openly from being so outspoken because I was so quiet. I remember one time at one of my aunt's barbecues, me and one of my brother's friends. My brother got a friend. Salute my nigga AJ. I hope you're doing good out there in the city. He rapped too, and me and him was rapping. It wasn't like a battle, it was like a cipher. And I could see the looks on my aunts and them faces when they saw me rap. Like, even my older cousins, like, oh, wait a minute. First and foremost, the look was like, he talks? He can talk? He can talk, and he's actually good at it. But maybe y'all would have known that earlier if everybody wasn't calling me dumb and slow and you can't do that. I legit, man, if I did something stupid in the house, that adults calling me butter knife. You know what that means. Here, butter knife. Here, butter knife, butter knife, butter knife. Ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Silence. Didn't talk about it. Didn't talk about nothing. So what type of child can cut everything off and walk around throughout his life and act like the things that are happening aren't happening? What type of mental fortitude does that take to be able to just cut your thoughts off and be quiet? I mean, it was easy because I was in the be seen, not heard era. And I'm sure I'm going to make somebody mad with saying this, but that's the time we was living in, man. I ain't saying nobody did anything wrong. They did the best they could. Ain't no playbook for this. They did the best they could with what they had. And I appreciate each and every last adult in my life that came from my family because they weren't doing anything but trying to bring out the best in us the only ways they knew how. But I can't get up here and not tell them parts of them stories that ain't true, so I'm supposed to just act like it didn't happen? Meanwhile, it could be a kid somewhere not knowing how to deal with that shit, and I could be the person that they, or not even a kid, a younger person in their 20s, because when you come out of your childhood and you go into your adult life and you carry in a lot of that shit, it makes you an angry person. So it could be a young dude walking around here right now about to blow somebody's brains out because he harboring a lot of shit from his childhood, and my show could be the one that changed his thought process on that. But I can't get on here and tell these stories because I got to worry about upsetting somebody because of somebody's perception of the stories I'm telling. Like they aren't true. And I don't want to do that, man. I don't want to do that. I love everybody, and I don't want no beef with nobody. And this year has exposed a whole lot for me, and I've said a lot to people. And I apologize to anybody, family members, Tawana, I apologize for what I said to you publicly. My mom, I apologize for anything that I said or joked about on social media that made you feel away. I apologize for those things. I was on social media talking about money recently. I didn't even realize till I was talking to my brother yesterday that me and my mom had a conversation a couple days previous to that. I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize till I was talking back to my brother, telling him, yeah, we was talking about this. Then she said something about some money, and it clicked. Because I made a status a couple days later about something else. Just my worldview on money. Does not mean that I don't want no money. I wouldn't be doing this to try to build a platform if I didn't want no money. I wouldn't be walking around in $70 shorts and $100 gym shoes if I didn't want no money. So I'm not a person who despises money. Not a person who despises money. Let me get right. It's a lot going on today, man. I'm not a person who despises money. I do, but the thought of it, the thought of government currency and what they can do to it. Now I know it's a process, but they just one day I had an episode that I planned on doing about money, where I had an episode where one day if they decide to do crypto or decide to say money ain't money no more, and it was jokes about it's gonna be tumbleweeds of money rolling around and a bunch of stuff that I don't feel like saying. I had an episode planned for that, but I made a post about money and it hit somebody in my family purposely. It hit somebody in my family, I can't think of the word I was looking for, offensively. And that's not what I was trying to do because we had a conversation about it a couple days ago. I wasn't thinking about that when I was making the post. It's like, do I got to be worried about every conversation I've ever had or walk on eggshells when I'm cracking a joke? Because social media wasn't that when I got on it. It was cracking jokes. It was dick humor. I have an asshole humor. It was that. Now it's changed. So I can't, at least Facebook has. And I can't be on that no more. Because I don't want to have static with nobody that I love because of some jokes or the way I view the world. I'm used to viewing it differently. Y'all ain't got to see it how I see it. But you gonna respect me though, and I'm gonna respect y'all. And I've brought nothing but love and respect to everybody. I think people view it as disrespect because I'm not gonna paint my life like it's 100% perfect because I had every pair of Jordans and some video games growing up. That's not real. But I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that's why I came here and said I appreciate everybody who watched this show. I love everybody who put some time into me, man. That means a lot. And most importantly, for all the people that I think I'm doing this for, I'm doing this for that child, man, who didn't say nothing. So most importantly, Binky, Lil Me. And so that's what they used to call me. That's what my name was, Binky. There's a story behind that. I was going to do an episode about that too. I don't know if the story is true, but Binky is who I was. And I hope, me being Uncle Vick, I hope I said everything that Binky would have wanted me to say. Because that's what it's about. You was who you are you are who you was when you got here. No matter how you change these top layers, you're always going to be that little person. And I make sure that I keep a healthy amount of inner child in me. And I'm protective of that inner child. So, Binky, I hope I said everything that you would have wanted me to say, man. And as far as everybody else, I guess I'm going back to the drawing board and either figuring this out to either come back with it or I'm done. And maybe this is the last of the volume series or just the last of the page, I don't know, but if I gotta fight with people that I love from my platform, then I don't want to do it. So, with that being said, Uncle Vick out, man, indefinitely.